What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an alright day today. It is an absolute bloodbath in the markets. The stock market specifically is falling below a very critical level, and Bitcoin unfortunately seems to not be following it to the upside, but following it extra to the downside. Now, this had to do a lot with this morning's job report, which came in hotter than expected, and of course, this probably means that they're going to keep the rates higher for longer, like Powell said. And don't forget, guys, in 4 days, we have the CPI data being released on Tuesday. So we're going to have a very, very crazy weekend leading into the week. But there is something I need to talk about right now on the Bitcoin chart. Now, some of it is not that surprising. We were expecting some form of a move, but right now, we are at a very critical level, so we're going to dive in super quick. I know this video is coming out a little bit later than usual. That's why I'm making a quick update, but I want to show you exactly what we're looking at. So let's hop in. Let's have a look. So guys, the stock markets are getting absolutely hammered today. You could see if I zoom in right here, we are still pushing down. There's not even a wick on this candle yet. It is still pushing to the downside, and you can see that Bitcoin has obviously now clearly fallen out of this parallel trend. Now, you might be asking yourself, why are we stopping here? How come we're not going any lower? Well, this is why it's getting very critical. So remember, we were talking about this falling wedge pattern that could be forming for Bitcoin. Well, I do have some good news. The good news is that we finally closed the CME futures gap. And remember, I said, a lot of people didn't want to hear this. And yes, I do believe that this is somewhat news driven, of course, but also the charts were telling us that we did need to close this gap. We usually close these gaps. So I'm actually glad that we did it now, rather than going all the way up to like 45,000 and then plummeting back down to 19,009. So the good news is the gap is closed. Now, as we can see right here, there is that possibility of a spring back, maybe back up to this level at around 21,290, where then we may continue to the downside. And remember, I said that if we do look at this upward sloping trend right here, Bitcoin could get as low as around 18,700, even down to 18,200, while still being and maintaining that upwards sloping trend. But there is something that we need to talk about. Now, number one, remember we had that death cross that we talked about right here, and it was when we had the 50 moving below the 200, and we said this was a very, very critical level. In fact, this has never, ever, ever, ever happened in Bitcoin's history ever, right? We came really close. We almost did it back here, but we never actually crossed. So this is the first time that we've ever seen this death cross happen for Bitcoin, and we knew that it wasn't necessarily going to be good in the short term. But something that does concern me is if we switch over to this daily, you could see this daily, which acted up here as resistance, right? You can see this pink line up here. Sorry, let me just get rid of these drawings. And you can see down here, basically, now it's acting as the support. We really don't want to lose this level for too long, right? We already closed that CME futures gap. There is that possibility that, we could go below this, but you don't want to stay below it for too long. That level is around 19,700. Now, I know that I just said we can go down to about 18,700. Yes, we could wick down there quickly, maybe stay down there for a couple of days, but like I said, you don't want to hang out below this level for too long. No longer than a week, in my opinion. If we do, then that could actually be very bad for Bitcoin. And, one thing that we need to pay attention to is this major downward sloping trend, right? Resistance here, resistance here. You guys could see that in this parallel channel. Well, look, if I zoom in right now, we're kind of teeter-tottering on that area, right? And that's the area where, I did say, yes, technically we could come down and be supported by this upward sloping trend. True, but I just want to let you know that when you're looking at a chart, the longer that an asset, excuse me guys, can't get my words out, the longer that an asset has been in a trend. So for example, we've been in this downtrend since November of 2021. So we have 1, 2, and now 3 interactions with it, right? Whereas this upward sloping trend, although, I guess if you take it back here, you could say that this is technically the legacy trend. So I'm kind of eating my own words now because this technically is the more important trend. But you could see right here, this was the one that we were looking to have that breakout. So, if this does fail, then the last leg really is this right here. So ultimately at these levels, you really don't want Bitcoin to fall any lower than about 17,300. After that, you would be in a lot of trouble. So you do genuinely want a bounce here. And as I said, be careful because, we were getting these green dots. Everybody was getting exciting. They were getting ready to go long. But I said, be very, very, very careful because as you guys can see right here on the daily, we have a clear curvature of this money flow. and it looks like we're about to go back into that red. So just be very careful, guys. There was a possibility that they might have, tried to squeeze one more pump out of it. But again, just to reiterate, we do have this legacy trend right here. And yeah, we've talked about it. I mean, look at where we're getting that support right now, right? We're trying to get that support right here. But I did say, we could bounce around in this area, bounce around, get people excited, and we could get real boring out here going all the way, into July right here. And that is a strong possibility that, yeah, you'd have your ups and downs. It'd be good for trading, but we could still continue sideways for longer than people would want to admit. And that would bore the heck out of the markets. It would definitely, a lot of people would leave because people like to make money fast, right? But there are always opportunities in these types of markets. So as you guys could see, we are at a very, very critical level for Bitcoin. You could argue that this is sort of that make or break level. Obviously, if stocks continue to the downside and we do get a bad report on Tuesday, then potentially, yes, this could be very, very bad overall for the markets. But remember, when we look at the broader chart, there is that possibility of longer sideways consolidation through the summer, potentially into the end of, or, midsummer, as we talked about in the video. So just wanted to bring that to you guys super quick. Nothing to freak out about immediately, but, obviously there needs to be some caution taken moving forward. So make sure you get subscribed. I will keep you guys updated, especially leading into Tuesday with all the news that you need to know with everything that's going on. So thanks again, guys. If you do want to learn how to trade, I do think there's going to be a lot of opportunities, a lot of volatility in the upcoming days. So you can check out this tutorial popping up right here, right now. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.